Prices continue to surge across the country for everyday goods, and few are feeling the sting quite like those in or near retirement. In fact, as inflation hits record highs, many retirees are being priced out of retirement altogether. So what can be done to protect your hard-earned savings? Well, our guests today are here to discuss some strategies that may just help do that. Joining us are Gary Mattson and Taylor Stewart, part of the family at Mattson Financial Services, the sponsor of this segment. They're a firm that's been helping people retire successfully here in West Michigan for decades. You can also catch them on their popular radio show, Money Mentors. And so, Gary, Taylor, how serious is this inflation spike for retirees?
Absolutely, it's very serious. It's very serious for all of us, right? We feel it every time we go to the grocery store or the pump and pay for gas. But when you're living on all of these assets that you've accumulated over the years and you're not relying on that paycheck anymore, it can be even more stressful and more scary. And then we've got to take a look at how are the markets doing, and with that volatility, how do we maintain that paycheck? So one thing that kind of sets us apart is we're really honing in on that income forecast when we start this planning process, coming up with what is your critical income need, the dollars that we need every month to cover all of our bills. And if we make sure that that's always met, then we invest slightly differently for those lifestyle items. And obviously with our lifestyles this year, with the inflation, even just going on a vacation, over the weekend driving, our gas has doubled or maybe tripled. And so maybe we don't go on a camping trip every weekend, or we, adjust. And it's really taking a look at your budget, your personal finances, and figuring out what are some of these things that we can maybe cut back on, but also make sure we're still getting the growth that we need to maintain that lifestyle moving forward.
Yeah, great suggestion there. Are there ways that we can reduce that sting of inflation? I mean, your suggestion was one good start.
Yeah, and there's other things you can do along the way too, is that, take advantage of some things that you can have available that you may not have done before, couponing, or looking for different things at the pump, using those credit cards you have and building flight miles and those type of things. We did a section on that on the radio, and my wife's really, really good at that. She's been doing it for years. In fact, over the years, she saved enough money that we could put a huge down payment on a family boat because she's been saving these coupon money for all these years. So once again, it's adapting to what's going on, making sure your portfolio isn't losing everything, that you're diversified, different asset classes. There's assets that do well in inflationary times, like real estate and precious metals. And then having diversified portfolios so you can buy in when it's low, or moving into areas where you can get dividends. So your stocks may not appreciate, but having dividend income or coupon income, we have actually investments in the risk markets that we can actually get a coupon yield on that. That's, fairly, what I would say, reasonable in numbers, but also it's very consistent. And it has to be, market's got to move a really long ways down for it to actually harm you. So there's different areas where we can actually set up if that's your need at that point in time. But the better avenue is, just like Taylor said, plan for it. Have the money set aside, 18 months, 24 months, whatever you need, that the markets cannot affect you. And that gives you time for your rest of your portfolio to move, to take advantage of, and then recover.
So you're saying there are good returns that can be found during times like these? Oh,
absolutely. Great opportunities. And that's what I think I mentioned to you before we got on the air that our normal transactions are about 1,200 transactions a day. We're actually doing over 2,400 transactions a day. And we're doing that due to the market cycles. I mean, things are changing. We're going to do that with it. And that's one of the things I always think is the worst thing an advisor can say is, hang on, it'll come back. What that's saying is, we're not going to do anything. Well, if it's down, it's a great buying opportunity. Why don't we take advantage of it? Same thing when it's up. I want to be able to harvesting that for days like this.
It seems a lot of people are looking for peace of mind during times like this, because there can be a lot of fear, there can be a lot of worry. Do you feel like you are providing that to some of your clients and others who come to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I meet with a new client or even a current client that comes through the door and we go through the steps of the process, we go through the plan, we're looking at the income forecasting and modeling out their income for not just this year, but years to come, it relieves a lot of stress. And we always say we are going to see market volatility. We're going to see markets do great. We're going to see markets do not so hot, which we are right now. And that creates that opportunity. And like Gary just said, with the amount of transactions that are going through, it's just the proof's in the pudding, right? We're taking advantage of that opportunity in the market. And so when we have these conversations with clients, look, this is a blip on the radar. We're going to get through it, but we've already got your income set aside, so we're good for the next 18 to 24 months. Now we can take advantage of that opportunities to help jumpstart that growth when we see things start to settle back down.
Yeah.
So many times people are in just stocks and bonds, and that's what they they feel, bonds are going negative because the rates are rising, stocks are down because of inflation, war concerns, all these things going on. And that's why we have created, over the years, alternative investments besides just stocks and bonds. And by having those alternative investments, not only can we get income from those, but now we actually can move into the stock and bond area and take advantage of the downside markets. And knowing that there's a transition happening, that when the change comes up and we go back to normal, you're going to be even in a better position. That gives people that stress-free retirement attitude, and they know it's happening. Before they just did nothing, and it kind of goes up and down, and they never feel they're getting ahead. We want to be able to take and get you ahead with dividends or income products that are get you where you want to go, that aren't tying your money up. Some people do it out of fear. They'll put their assets into a product like an annuity, and they'll move too far into that, and now they're set. Maybe they did that in 2000, then they see the market now where it's not keeping up with inflation, but they made that decision 20 years ago. Now they have to cut their lifestyle.
Yeah.
We never want to be in that position. We want to be flexible, so when the rise of inflation is there, not only can you have more money, but you can do the things you want to plan for in retirement.
Well, that sounds good to everyone, I'm sure. And so if viewers are wanting to get started in that, what do they need to do?
Well, if they're retired or already retired and they've saved at least $500,000 or more, they can call us at our number, 616-514-3831. We'll sit down with them, do a complete review of where they're at. Maybe they're too much risk or not enough risk. What should they be doing at this point in time to alter their portfolio and get them in a better position? Sometimes it's bringing the portfolio over and saying, we're going to hold for a little bit and look for the opportunity. And maybe they've held something a little too long. They fell in love with a stock or fell in love with a situation, and they find out themselves that maybe that wasn't such a great relationship. So let's do something about it, get you in a better position, take advantage where we can, and then be in a position when the market recovers, you're in the best position possible.
That sounds good. So with that great offer, you are here to extend to everyone and the rest of your team. We want to thank you, Gary and Taylor. For you at home, if you're worried about inflation and want to make sure your savings last through retirement, take advantage of that special offer from Mattson Financial. Gary, Taylor, and the team at Mattson will sit down with you, do a complete evaluation of your financial outlook, and develop a comprehensive retirement plan to get you where you deserve to be, living your dream retirement. So don't let this offer pass. It's available complimentary to the first 5 callers today. So secure your spot now. Call 616-514-3831. The number again is 616-514-3831. Taylor, Gary, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And this segment is sponsored by Mattson Financial Services. We'll be right back with more Eat Less.